Party people, hello! It's Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. I'm here today and we are going to do our second, count them 1, 2, second party favors. Party favors necklace today project. So super excited. We did do a design on Morning Coffee a couple of weeks ago when I posted the party favor bags on my website. So this was the stuff's always flying out of this book. It's the first one that we did. There's our design. We made that up. Super cute. And then here is our second design we're going to do with Coco Pelli. So that's what he looks like. So I have pulled the corresponding box and we are going to jump into the second party favors project. So if you're unfamiliar about what party favors is just a bunch of beads that I put together that I thought looked cute together, and we sold them all in a pack so that we could do these videos and you could make these if you wanted to, or if you just liked the beads, you got like a deal on the beads because they all came in a pack. So we are going to take a look at those and we're going to get down to the mat and do that. Before we do that, please subscribe to my videos. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and do a comment. And here we go. All right, here we are on the mat. Here's our design. As you can see, we're going to do Coco Pelli with 1 strand and 3 strands coming around this way. I have in my party favors pack, oh boy, I don't know what that was, but it didn't sound good. In my party favors pack, I have some genuine freshwater pearls. These are from the Taylor's Wells Bead Store, as is pretty much everything in here. We have our little packs of seed beads, 6mm. We have our double-sided Coco Pelli. Now this, oh, he's only one-sided. The Coco Pelli has the double connectors, and he came from Auntie's Beads, and I ordered him. He is made of pewter. He came actually as part of their Greece collection that they were doing when they got a bunch of pendants from Greece. So super excited about that. And I have my pack of India glass. We have these clamshells. We use these a lot over here on Thunderhorse Descendant. So we are going to get going on this project. Alright, so these are not all of the beads that came in my clamshell because I did already make one project. But what came with the party favors was 1 clamshell of India glass beads, 1 pair of stainless steel earring wires, and this large heavy duty jump ring. So I included this because I was like, oh, what if you got your Coco Pelli and you wanted him to hang, or maybe you wanted to make a keychain or something, you might need a heavy duty one. So there we go with that. These are our freshwater pearls. I'm going to just cut into those. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. So, like I said, all these items are available on www.thunderhorse-descendant.com. I will leave a link to it in the description. This is my website where I sell bead components and other stuff. If you're looking at my hand and you're like, Randy, what's going on with your hand? I tried out some Yes Style. These are swatches from some Yes Style lipsticks. And they stained my hand, so that's what it looks like. Let me just take this off so we can have a little focus here. All right. So, get into this guy right here. I don't know how many of these I'll need. I'll take out that many for now. And then this one I thought was just a super cute, like, little pop of color. Alrighty. So, to get started, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to get my soft flex out. So I'm going to be using soft flex medium beading wire. And the first part we're going to make is just a 6-inch piece of beading. So this is where we're going to connect on to the top part of our Kokopelli with just the one strand. So I'm just going to get a little piece here. So this is what the Old Faithful clasp look like. If you want just the clasp, these are available on the website, as are all of these items. But to get started, I'm just going to thread right through there. And get going here. Crimping tool. Okay, so I'm going to go into the first crimp that looks like lips closest to me. I'm going to make sure it is not twisted. I'm going to crimp. I'm going to turn the whole piece over, go into what I call the eye, or the one to the furthest to the outside, and crimp again. So the whole purpose of this, basically what you're doing is you're making it look like it's rolled over onto itself. Excuse me. And so that is a good crimp. Do a little pull test. I'm going to do a little trim on this tail here. And here we go with the beading. So now, I don't know if that's too close. You guys will have to let me know. Okay. So I am going to be using the India glass and the pearls. Let me start with, let me do 1, 2, 3 of these guys. And then I'll start with my India glass. And I'm going to put one of these, I think, in between each. Each bead I put on, I think I will put a 6mm. I'm going to mix these up just for funsies. And there's really no rhyme or reason to this. At this point, we are stringing beads. We're just stringing beads. Just for fun. And it's looking like I want it to look. Looking pretty good so far. So like I said, I'm going to do about 6 inches on this little piece. I'm going to then attach it to the Kokopelli. Then we'll start on the other end, where I will be doing 3 strands. Well, I think we should have enough beads for 3 strands, honestly. Where I'm at with it. I hear Mr. Bunsen calling me. You guys, I'm getting ready to go on vacation. We're going to be going on vacation. I'm going to go home to my grandma's house and in North Dakota. And so we have a lot of commotion going on in our house right now. So if you hear all of that, that is Jeff and Jeff's dad up there doing stuff. The dogs, my mom's dog, Mr. Bunsen, the whole crew's up there. I'm like, okay, I got things to do. I'm going downstairs. So if you hear all of that and stuff, I apologize. It's just real life beading over here at Thunderhorse Descendant, I tell you what. So this is looking like a little more than 6 inches, but that's fine, because this is the part that's going to go around your neck and then come down to your Kokopelli. So I'm actually going to go a little more. Okay. So I'm going to put my crimp bead on. Get you down here so you can see all this. Okay, there's my cocoa belly. Got my beading on. I've got my crimp bead on. Actually, I'm going to put another 2. I started with 2 or 3? 3. I started with 3 at the top, so I'm going to put 3 right here. Then I'm going to put my crimp bead. Then I'm going to put my cocoa belly. Oh, now the dogs are howling. So I put him through there, and I'm going to put these little seed beads over the top. I'm just going to pull them a little tighter. I do want my beads to be able to move, so I am going to loosen them just a smidge before I just start crimping away here, because if the beads can't move, you run the risk of them being too tight. Number 1, they're going to look funny. Number 2, you could run the risk of cracking them off when the person is wearing the jewelry. You don't want that. But you also don't want them too loose either. So it's kind of a delicate balance. So there's my first crimp. Turn it sideways. Come in with the eye side. And that wasn't very good. Everything is spinning. All right. There we go. Pull test looks good. And give this a trim. All right. Okay, we're in it now. We're in it now. So now, let me zoom me back out. So now we have our first part of our necklace. So it's going to go around like that. And then onto the second loop, we're going to add our 3 strands off the back here. So I really like this because I don't know if you guys have seen, if you've ever seen any photos or anything of like powwows or any of the Native American regalia or outfits. But for the grass dancers, they wear in the back 2 sets of feathers. And so I thought that it was kind of funny how his back is here. So I was like, oh, maybe I should have him on the other side. But if I put these 3 coming back, it'll kind of be representation of that and do a nod to that. So I was like, yeah, that's good. We'll do that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out my second strand. And I don't really need that much because we're just going to do about, let's see. Oh, here's Mr. Bunsen crying. What's wrong, Mr. Bunsen? It's like, it's not one thing, it's another. And then I'm also going to get my second strand out right here, just right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 2 inches because one is going to be a little bit longer than the other, not much. And I'm going to start with the shorter one. I'm going to zoom me back in so you can see how I'm going to attach him. I mean, it's not rocket science here. We're just adding crimp bead. Same thing we've been doing. You are going to be the master at crimping as soon as we're done here. Put him through that hole. Back around through the crimp bead. And crimp. Okay. So crimping, gotta make sure it's not twisted inside the crimp bead. Because what's happening in the crimp is there's that little piece, that notch, that little piece of metal right here. You see in this first hole, right here, the one there I'm wiggling my finger. Looks like lips. There's a notch in there. And when you crimp onto that bead, that notch is going to push the metal up to separate your strands. And that's what we want, because that's what creates a really good crimp. So you want them to be separate. And then you can see when it does that, that it did in fact separate them. So then we're going to turn it sideways on its side. We're going to go into the eye. And what we're doing here is you're not just pushing this down. You're pushing it down, but you're kind of letting it roll onto itself. You're pushing kind of either forward or backward, one way or the other, to get it to roll onto itself, which is what creates a good crimp. Okay, so just gonna make sure it's good. Always do the pull test to make sure everything is fine. And I am going to go ahead and just while we're here, attach my longer strand as well, because why not? Because it's beading and we can. I'm going to make sure this longer strand is on the bottom. Okay. Put my crimp bead on there. Whoop. So now, since I am going to do these two different strands, when we go to put beads on, I am going to be focusing on putting the heavier glass beads. Of course, I'm still going to go in the same pattern that I have been going, which really, I know probably doesn't look like a pattern right now. But I am going to focus. Hold on. Very important step here. There we go. I am going to put more of the heavier India glass on the bottom strand, just because gravity. So I have these bigger ones that came in my pack. Now these packs are all different. So they have all the same beads, but then you may get more of a certain bead or not, you know, so it just kind of depends on. But I'm going to make sure to put those on the bottom strand because these are the heavier of the glass. And I want to make sure that gravity is working in my favor. So I'm going to put more of the heavier ones on the bottom strand. So when the bottom strand hangs, it's for sure going to hang down lower than the top one, right? So I'm just kind of looking. Of course, I want to put a few of these in the top because we don't want it to look silly. But I am going to put more of them in the bottom. So I'm going to move the bottom strand out of the way. Start with the top strand. I'm going to put on 3 beads as we have been doing here. Pull them down and pull them over this tail. So the reason I'm putting these beads on here is, number one, I probably will go back and put on some bead caps just for funsies. But also because you have this tail, that tail's not going to fit through a pearl. It may fit through another India glass bead, but I just want to make sure that I have something to keep that tail tight so it's not poking anybody or, you know, doing anything silly. So here we go. So India glass and seed bead, pearl, seed bead. And I'm just going to keep going like this. guys, here we go with the second strand. So like I said, we're going to put heavier beads on this side. So I'm going to start out with my 3. Alright, so there she is. As you can see, we still have quite a few beads left. I am going to put it on the form so you can see it in its detail. But I'm really happy with it. We still have a lot of beads left that we could use to even make another strand, but I think 2 is good. I was going to do 3, but I don't want to get too bulky with it. So I'm going to leave it with 2, but I am very happy with how it turned out. And I think I'll just whip up a little pair of earrings, and then I'll show you guys the end result. So right here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just get a few little beads on. I don't want them to be too heavy. Let's see. Yeah, that's okay. It might be a little bit, might be a little heavy. Maybe I'll try pearl. Kind of find 2 that are kind of the same. That's cute. And I'm going to add a little length. Add a little length on there. Yeah, simple but cute. Simple but cute. So here's how we do the finishing touch. You're just going to do a wire wrapped loop. And if you've been following along with my missing link videos, I have some very detailed videos about how to do these skills here. I can link it in the cards for you. These are just some super cute little matching earrings. Okay. I am using 3-inch ball head pins, if you were wondering. I really prefer to use a 3-inch ball head pin. That's just my personal preference. Gives me a lot more to work with when making these wire loops. Kind of got a teal one in the middle here. You guys, I feel like, yeah, and like I said, I'm going on vacation. I feel like that girl in Home Alone before, when at the very beginning of the movie where everybody's just like running through the house crazy, getting ready for the vacation. That's me right now. So all that noise, I apologize. This is where we're at today. It's fine. So you want to be real careful when you're tucking in these tails, especially when you're using seed beads or glass beads. And then I'm just going to use my stainless steel earring wires that came with it in the Party Favors kit. Let's put those on there. There we go. And we are good to go. Super cute. Alright guys, I hope you are enjoying these videos. I am sure having a fun time making them. And I will get you some finished video and get you a look at the necklace on the form. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful, spectacular, amazing beading day. I will see you in the next video. Please make sure to subscribe. I've picked out some videos for you at the end here if you want to check those out. I'll see you guys again. Bye.